thank you for taking some time for yourself, and you can wonder as you feel the slow, heavy rise and fall of your chest, just how much heavier that laden feeling in your chest can become before it simply turns into this moment. Can you notice the way each exhale seems to pull you deeper into the chair, almost as if the air is becoming thicker, more substantial than the light in this room, and you can be pleased to realize that you don't have to try to be certain right now, because we both know how exhausting certainty is. So you can just breathe and let the need for absolute clarity go. With the next breath out, perfect, and you can begin to wonder when your body will decide it's actually easier to just let the image go than to hold it so perfectly still. With your permission, I'd like you to let that fog of the big picture become your primary focus. Breathing it in, letting it fill the empty spaces. Now I'd like you to have a new experience, even if it's just the experience of being utterly, unapologetically uncertain in a way that meets your needs. And as you settle, perhaps you wouldn't mind noticing the delicious treachery of your own senses as time begins to stretch and liquefy. Time distortion, allowing a single stagnant moment to bloat into an eon, or a chaotic hour to vanish into a pinprick. I wonder if you'll be curious to find your sense of space performing a slow, surreal dance, as if the walls of this room seem to retreat miles away in a fit of agoraphobic elegance, and then draw almost claustrophobically close. They feel like a velvet rug, an alteration of perceptions that reminds you how hilariously flexible reality truly is. You already know how to let your limbs become so profoundly paralyzed, so beautifully inert, that the very concept of a nerve impulse seems like over-ambitious fantasy, a quiet verbal inhibition that leaves you blissfully mute. I want you to notice something that's happening to you, a delightful surrender to trance logic, where the absurd becomes mundane, where you can be both the observer and observed, existing in two places at once, like a quantum glitch. Maybe it will surprise you to notice your tired reality testing has finally clocked out for the night, where your anxieties are no longer problems, but merely abstract smears of pigment on a canvas with no borders. And as you drift into this fluctuating involvement, finding a strange, dark comfort in the fact that right now, nothing is actually real enough to hurt you. In a moment, I'm going to share with you a story. And at first you might be thinking, why am I sharing with you this story? But your subconscious mind will be listening and do something wonderful for you a little later on. In the 15th and 16th century Catholic England, the image of Christ was defined by Salvator Mundi, the saviour of the world. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci depicted Christ with a singular global clarity. He is shown frontally, looking directly at the viewer, his right hand raised in a steady, universal blessing. In his left hand, he holds a crystal orb representing the heavens and the earth. I wonder if you've noticed that this was the original sweeping statement, long before we had the screaming headlines of newspapers or the shallow Save the Planet platitude on a t-shirt logo. The Salvator Mundi was the ultimate advertisement. It's kind of funny, isn't it? To think that the same energy that once painted the divine now creates television ads for laundry detergent or magazine covers promising 10 steps to a better you. Maybe you'll be amused to discover that your own mind has been acting like a 24-hour news cycle, full of loud, bold headlines of catastrophe and sweeping advertising slogans of personal failure. You've been trying to fit the vast, messy complexity of your life into a simple, bold brand identity or a book title that makes sense to everyone else. But perhaps noticing those logos on your chest and those breaking news alerts in your head are just flat, ink-stained lies. They are like the certainty of a used car salesman, where your reality is far more interesting. By the mid-20th century, this unified vision was shattered. After the horrors of the world wars, artists could no longer paint a serene Christ, a global saviour. They had to grapple with a world that felt broken and misunderstood. Graham Sutherland, in his 1946 Crucifixion, Sutherland tried to bridge the gap. He looked back to the 16th century but painted Christ with visceral, harrowing detail, using thorns and a twisted, emaciated body. Francis Bacon looked at the same history and took a radical path. In his 1944 triptych, 3 Studies for Figures at the Base of a Crucifixion, he removed Christ entirely. Instead of the steady Saviour, Bacon painted sightless, withering creatures with open, screaming mouths. He realised that a global message in a fragmented world is just noise. Historically, the Salvator Mundi was a message where the artist expected everyone to see the same truth. But by the time of Bacon, the artist realised that everyone sees through their own distorted lens. The Saviour hadn't changed, but the world's ability to see him clearly had been replaced by 1,000 different, often clashing interpretations. While you wonder that, I want you to discover that. You can let that old, rigid, global image simply dissolve. Perhaps you wouldn't mind noticing that as you exhale now, the need for perfect understanding, the need to be a headline, is actually leaving your body. I'd like you to begin allowing yourself to step back from the easel. And as that occurs, you really can't help but notice that you are no longer the painting. You are the observer, so that it's almost as if you're standing in a gallery, looking at your own communication style from a safe, cool distance. All that really matters is that the image is on the canvas, and you are here, breathing, watching it change. I wonder if you'll enjoy how naturally, how easily a new kind of depth begins to take hold. What's important is the ability of your mind to realize that being misunderstood is just another brushstroke. I want to remind you of something that you probably already know, which is you cannot have a masterpiece without the Francis Bacon shadows. Your global style is being redrawn right now according to a more permissive geometry. You will be fascinated and feel a strong compulsion to see how your voice actually branches out when you stop being the only reference point for the truth. And that's just fine. I'd like you to let yourself become more and more aware of how this new resource feels. One of the things I'd like you to discover is that as you imagine walking into a conversation next week, you are no longer a painter of saviors. You are a master of perspective. In all probability, you'll say some sweeping, generalized statement. And even if someone sees it differently, you'll simply look for the vanishing point. Very likely, you'll be surprised to find yourself enjoying different interpretations of your voice rather than fearing them. And that's all right. And sooner or later, I don't know just when, you'll notice a painting or a photograph or even your own reflection, and you'll be reminded that there are 1,000 ways to see the same thing. And would you be willing to experience a sudden sense of space every time you speak? It's very rewarding to know that your unconscious mind is already calculating the new space of your calm. And as you begin to feel the weight of your body returning to the room, you don't need to hurry or wonder if you'll decide to open your eyes now, or perhaps in a few moments, but only when you're ready to see the world, not as a global demand, but as a rich, specific, highly detailed, multifaceted gallery. And that's okay. Just noticing the light, the air, and the depth that was always there. That's all right. Now take a few deep breaths. Stretch out. Wriggle your fingers and toes. And open your eyes. Welcome back. You're perfect, just as you are.